Alright, hello everybody! In today's video, we are back. Yes, I know it's been a while, but we are back with playthroughs. And this is a small indie game, I think. It's called Back again with been gone for what, 5 weeks, and I still can't speak. This one's called Bad End Theater. I just saw this honestly on like TikTok, and I thought it looked really cool, and then it was gonna get into spoilers. I was like, dude, let me just buy this and play it. So without further ado, let's just get into it. I know very little about this game, like 20 seconds worth, but that was enough for me to get into it, so hey. Welcome to Bad End Theater. On this stage, we shall be toying with fate. You'll make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select which doll you like. Ooh. I'm basic though, this probably matters, right? The demon is cool, but now I'll be the human. Control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? Play nice? You try to make friends with the demon doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless. You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry, the story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. No. Go ahead and try playing as the demon doll this time. What if I don't, though? 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 What if I don't? What if I don't? Okay, fine. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? Play nice. You and the human doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Why, this isn't a bad ending at all. I should have written out this possibility. It's just not suited to my theater whatsoever. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to what you choose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay from the doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. Oh god. Now try turning the doll's behaviors on and off to see the different outcomes. Human doll. You're a friendly little guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? Play nice. In the demon doll, you're able. Yay! Wait. Demon doll. Oh, okay, so right now they're both chill. So if I make them both hostile, what happens? Wait, if I do this? And then I play nice. Okay. Wait, so then what if I do... You control... Play nice. You try and make friends with the human doll, but it kills you. Okay. Then what did they both try and kill each other? Attack it. You both attack each other at once and die together. End tutorial. Okay, now let's both be nice for the end. Play nice. Yay. I'm done. You understand how to play? Yeah, I get it. This game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all the bad endings at your own pace. Now, without further ado, let's start the show! Ooh. You are the hero, a maiden, an underling. Let me start off as the hero, the basic hero. You are the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You're told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. He even puts a village right next to where entire demon army hangs out. You don't get it? You're happy to protect the townspeople, though. You are bored to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden. If demon soldiers block your path, you could kill them to gain experience. I'm dutiful. Do I carry out my duty? Bravely, bravely. Oh my god, brave slaughter the evil creatures. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. I was gonna say, maybe I could not attack them, but you know, they're evil. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Diplomatic. Haha. You attempt to explain why you've come, but the monster before you is eyeing you with suspicion. You can't help but notice the demon blood from you earlier. You haven't had the chance to wash off yet. Oops. You now have no choice but to fight the army in self-defense. Oh well, more experience points for you. You make your way through the castle, fending off all the demons that stand in your way. The Overlord appears demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all our soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can only see one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possibly she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You've become strong from the hordes of demons you took down before the final battle. The Overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not finished yet. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within the walls. It's just as you suspected. She must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Sure, your great victory will be celebrated. Failed hero ending. Damn, the hero saves Overlord, he never knows what becomes of the maiden. Reset the stage. Slaughters all demons. So, since I only have this personality unlocked, let me do that, and then let me play as the maiden. You're a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to spooky demon Overlord's castle. You're told that you're fated to be captured by the Overlord one day because you're a beautiful young girl. Demon Overlords apparently love capturing those. Think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone. But maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity. Who knows? You're in a church. You pray to your god, asking why you have been born into this royal maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You are impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were just to hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to find a demon. Just, see what happens. Not long in your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Introduce yourself. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting a lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid. You think what could have happened? Why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You weren't angry or anything, of course. This was all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. Damn. By the underling, she didn't stand a chance. Okay, so now she has the polite. Ooh, now we can be the underling. You're a demon underling. In service to the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but you're not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyways. There's a lot of standing in place, staring into nothing. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. We wait for her to finish a lecture before returning to her post. What does she know about anything? Who made the boss? I forgot to give all the characters unique voices. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the overlord to your friends. They agree that she is kind of a snob, and it totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer in a responsible direction. Let's not overthrow her. You tell your friends you're totally not serious about this whole thing, you're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if the only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortably there's nothing to do. The others nod but don't seem convinced. You say that a coup d'etat would be more effort than it's worth. But you're still going to be a rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. They change the atmosphere that excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask. You consider your options. Bubble her up. Hear her out. You're in a good mood today, and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You hadn't guessed it would even be possible to understand each other before now. The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line from what you gather is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting, besides you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. Apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and her friends even ever... Why would he say that? He gives you a look and you say, that was just a joke, of course. He smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. After a few hours of sleep, you're rudely awakened by the sound of battle. You emerge from your room to find that Hiro has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk. Oh, so I just die. Yeah, let me avenge my fallen comrades. What does this guy think he is? Coming in here and killing everyone like some maniac. What did we ever do to him? You lunge at him while he's busy driving a sword into the guard with something who sometimes brought you food whenever they notice you're feeling kinda down. You like that guard, you wish with all your demon heart for this hero to suffer for his deeds. You bite into him, tearing flesh from bone. It tastes like iron. The hero struggles. You feel his sword go through you, but there's no pain, only retribution. More of your comrades pile on him as your consciousness fades. The hero is overtaken. Your army has won. You have earned to your rest. Victorious underling end. Yay! So that's a good ending, right? Ooh, I could choose both now. Should I make him one of these, or should I just... I should give them all... Yeah, let me do this. Let me... no, disloyal. Oh, I could do a both. No, I don't want underling to have anything right now. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyway? They're actually avoided pissing off the humans and hope they'll leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing if you're being quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the highest standard like that. One of your underlings walks in your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place and guard the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kinda bothers you. What do you do with this underling? Tell them to get back to work. Grant them the day off. You tell them to go take a break from this stifling castle atmosphere and from the should be fine for everyone once in a while. Thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the overlord sure is great. You awake to a knock on your door. A thunderling from earlier brought some company. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient think about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? You don't really understand the question. You think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. So just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stays and talks to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks in your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked out at you without contempt. I wonder what to say. Tell her she'd better... Is my character gonna be like a tsundere? Tell her she'd better go home. You better go home. You'd love to have all the conversation in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl here will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face and tell her to get lost, but the maiden turns out to be very stubborn. You don't want to hurt her, but you also really want her to leave in case something bad happens. This whole situation is just asking for trouble, you think. Against your better judgment, you let her hang out for a little while longer. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not all what she expected them to be. You're glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kind of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as not to agitate them and get heroes sent out after you. That explains why the people in my village have been left unharmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We are very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. You always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that Maeve been lying to her this whole time, and that you were actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captured here. The people in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. Whoa. You notice the sound of battle has started ringing through her castle halls. The maiden is getting nervous, but you reassure her it's only your underlings roughhousing, no big deal. You know it's probably a hero, but you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that. Your army will take care of it. Damn! If it isn't long before the hero bursts in your room. But you shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there, unsure of himself. He is covered in demon blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out of the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies in pieces all strewn about your castle has really taken it out of you. That hero did this? There's so much blood. Why did he come for the maiden? Did he think she needed rescuing? There was no one for this hero to save here. There was just never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking to her. Why has it turned out like this? The hero starts babbling insincere apologies and excuses, realizing his wrongdoings, but you are far beyond handling that kind of bullshit. You have had it with these humans always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you regain control, there is nothing left of the hero. The maiden has fled in terror. You are alone. Is that because I chose antisocial? Wrathful Overlord ending. After he destroys her army. Reset the stage. What if I just do this? And then just keep her antisocial. Live in a castle. Alright, so this game is really interesting already, and I really enjoyed it. But like they said, it's kind of like a puzzle game. Because I'm pretty sure there is one true ending. I think I did get that spoiled, but hey, that makes sense anyways. I'm not surprised about that. I don't know how to get it or anything like that. But that'll be my goal. So I'll skip over dialogue you guys have already seen. But besides that, let's see what else is there to do in this game. So damn, I feel bad because I made her like go against her wishes and she became like evil at the end. Da da da. Grant them the day off. Let me stay antisocial. New always have human, okay. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden who was rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. I only wanted to meet with the Overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks to return to the village with him. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised they had one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. Ooh. Let them go. You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that. You decide, with the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while. Until your door slams shut. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed by flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule for if this one burns? You don't want to believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful bastards. You choke on the thick black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. Damn, I feel bad. Burned Overlord ending. And set ablaze. Let me just keep that, and then let me just... Let's have her... Yeah, let me just play as the hero now. You are the hero. You like to think yourself. Let me skip to my options. Flee like a coward. Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own, if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You take your chance at the castle. You're a hero after all. This is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach Overlord. Let me be diplomatic. Go up to the nearest demon and explain why you're here. They stare you down and feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord and Maiden seem to be in the middle of some casual conversation when you barge in. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Ask the Maiden what's going on. The Maiden explains that she was never actually captured and that she came here on her own volition. That was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. You ask her to return to town with you to assure everyone of her safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you casually exit the castle. You try to make conversation with the Maiden, but she seems pretty quiet since leaving the Overlord's room. Is she shy? She suddenly stops in her tracks, and you turn your head to what the deal is. Oh, the Overlord's castle is engulfed in flames. Well, why is he British now? You can't help but feel relieved you got the maiden out there when you did, but... He suddenly takes off towards the burning castle, panic sets in, and you follow to try to stop her. The smoke is so thick. You've already lost sight of her. What is she thinking? It's too dangerous to continue. You feel hopeless. You stand alone at the castle gates. Your body won't allow you to take another step forward. No, going in there would be suicide. You return to the village and tell them that there was nothing you could do. You were too late. The maiden was claimed by the demons. Damn. So there really aren't any good endings, The hero does nothing as the demon. Bystander hero and B. Reset the stage. Alright. Prefers not to solve things for violence. Okay. So I need to play as the maiden. Won't let the hero take the maiden home. Okay. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to spooky demon overlord's castle. Skip. Shout out for a hero to come save you. You yell, but a hero does not come. The demon is put off by your sudden shouting and asks you to keep it down. You apologize. They seem more confused and hostile, which totally catches you off guard. You did tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. You tell them that you were thinking maybe you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken away by a demon already. The demon doesn't seem to have really been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to their master nevertheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. It turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens, or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, that doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out, and something awful would happen. Then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You ask this overlord what you should do with a more suitable maiden. To be a more, Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. He makes it sound so simple. This overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The overlord tells you again that you should just get lost. How rude. You just got here. Obedient, yeah. Because then that's just, okay, yeah. You don't want to cause any trouble, so you figure it's time to go home. Yeah. On the way, you encounter a hero. He asks you what you're doing. Don't you know the Overlord's castle is like right there? You explain everything that happened. The hero seems to think you're lying to him. He asks if you've been brainwashed by the demons. What nerve. They're very upset that the so-called hero would treat you this way and leave in a huff. You return to the village alone. Everyone was very worried about you. They surround you with 1,000 questions, and you tell them your story. Okay, my chair's a little high. Gotta put it down a little. As you explained that the Overlord never had any intention to harm anyone, you notice that the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while you speak to them. You are loudly interrupted by an old man. He rudely calls you a demon sympathizer. The crowd is growing unruly. You don't understand. You've only told them the truth. Do they not believe you? Everyone begins speculating what must have actually happened. They weave elaborate lies and ask you to prove your innocence. How could you have returned without the aid of a hero, they ask. You could not have possibly escaped the Overlord on your own without harm. You must be conspiring with the demons, trying to trick everyone into believing they aren't the horrible creatures we know them to be, so they say. Have the people of your village always been this blinded by their fears and hatreds at things they've never cared to know? You wonder how you missed that before. You are seized by the crowd, and voices from all sides are calling for public execution. You're to be burned at the stake. You don't want to die. You wonder, would it have been better to hide the truth? You don't like the thought of that. You have always lived honestly, so why has this happened? Why are you being punished? You hear the dissenting voice of your family and neighbors, but they, like you, are powerless against the momentum. They can only watch as you burn, and you can only cry for them. You are so sorry. Oh my god. Executed Maiden. The maiden is burnt at the stake. She is an enemy of the village. Oh wait, but now I could, so if I do obedient antisocial, and then make him like these, and have, I know what to do. Make him heroic, not dutiful. And then I play as the hero, right? Wait, but either way, the Overlord dies at the end, right? Okay, so I know I probably need more options from these guys, but right now, let me play the hero. Okay, antisocial. Okay. And then obedient, so she's gonna leave. Perfect. Perfect. I know exactly what to do. So the Overlord is gonna send the maiden back home. Now that I'm a heroic, I'm gonna save her from the fire, right? Oh wait, we didn't even need to play as him. I just realized that. We're getting your priority to skip your life. On her way to the Overlord's castle, you spot a maiden heading back towards the village. She shouldn't have come from the Overlord's castle, could she? This may be the exact maiden you're currently seeking to rescue. You approach her with curiosity. You ask the maiden what she's doing. Doesn't she know the Overlord's castle is like right there? It's dangerous. The maiden explains that she spoke with the Overlord, and it turns out the demons never had any diabolical plans to harm the village or anyone in it. Believe her story. Oh, so I did have to play as him. You have no reason to assume she's lying to you. Even though her story is kinda hard to believe, you feel you should trust her. You tell her you're surprised that everyone has been wrong about demons all along. The townspeople must be informed of this immediately. The two of you return to the village. They had all been so worried, they praise you for your bravery. But the maiden quickly sets the record straight. There was nothing she needed to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers look for explanation. You politely inform them that this isn't your story to tell, you merely ran into her on the way to the castle. She explains that the Overlord isn't interested in capturing maidens or anything of the sort. The villagers turn to you again in disbelief. They aren't being subtle in how little they trust the maiden's story. You totally believe her. But to placate these fair citizens, you volunteer to speak to the demons personally, just in case. The crowd breaks in hushed whispers. You're too busy thinking what a great and reliable hero you are to hear what they're saying. The town elder's voice breaks you out of your thoughts. He implores you to meet with the Overlord immediately and says they'll all keep an eye on the maiden until you return. You figure that sounds right, but the mood is kind of intense for some reason. Did you miss something? You aren't sure what's going on, but you get the feeling it might be bad to leave the maiden on her own. But she suddenly takes off running. Oh, you thought the two of you were in this together. Her actions have convinced the crowd that she's obviously been a liar and a witch from the start. People are shouting for you to hunt her and her demon friends down already, but that doesn't sound like a very heroic task. You can't help but feel that these people are wrong. It's up for you to catch up to her and talk to the demons in order to clean up this misunderstanding. Damn, this is a long game. You valiantly dash after the maiden toward the Overlord's castle. The air becomes dark and thick as you enter deep into the demon's territory. Evil miasma? No, you realize it's just normal smoke. You see the maiden ahead, but she's stopped in her tracks. The Overlord's castle engulfed in flames. You have only taken an eye off the maiden for a second, but she's already disappeared. You get close to the castle, but the smoke is so thick now, you think of turning back. The maiden might need your help, but you can barely see. She could be impossible to find. She could have been lying to you all along. Was this a trap? Would it be worth risking your life on that chance? Your legs feel heavy. No, going in there would be suicide. You return to the village and tell them there was nothing you could do. You are too late. The maiden was claimed by the demons. Is this version A? Yep. Oh, okay. Of course I get those back to back. And I get the B one first. Okay. And diplomatic. Prefers not to solve things through violence. Okay, and then polite. Just get involved in the plot to kill the Overlord. I really want to play as her again, though. But I should play as the Underling. Yeah, let me play as the Underling. You're a demon Underling in service to the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Okay, let me skip through the important parts. He's surprisingly cool with it. Nice. Oh yeah, because I actually made her nice this time. You set on your adventure outside the castle. The change of atmosphere excites you and you spend some time rolling in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask. You consider your options. Hear her out. You're in a good mood today, and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this kind of excitement hasn't been possible each other before now. Kind of destiny, the bar says she wants you to take. Sounds like it could be interesting, besides you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. You seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide that it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long, your friends will wake you up rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current Overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out, and being a pretty lazy Underling, you of course reply with, that sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead? Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. He's actually not so bad, you guys. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle, you understand, right? Their claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this will end. This is a pretty bad, messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. They slit your throat in response. Damn. Faithful Underling End. The Underling stays loyal to the Overlord and pays with their life. Yes. Now let me play the Underling. Haha. Good job and keep it and barely boring. Let's not. You tell our friends you're totally not serious about this whole thing. You're actually cool with the status quo. After all, hear her out. Oh wait, okay, so I have to be disloyal, okay. Okay, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them you were just joking, clarify that you're totally in it to win it. They say you are always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'll be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you're innocent all along. But beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they'd just lock her up in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance, your guidance. There probably be casualties if you fought her head on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this. But you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You and your friends turn to notice the maiden from earlier has overheard your entire conversation. It'd be bad if the Overlord found out about this. Is the maiden for a killing practice? Toss her in the dungeon. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna kill her. You and your friend seize the maiden and bring her to the dungeon under the castle. It's empty, save for the decorative skulls. They're only there to make it feel more spooky. The maiden is very upset. You leave her in the cell to continue scheming with your friends. But now a hero has arrived at the front gates. He's asking about a maiden, perhaps the very one you just locked up. Oh, so I actually made it like... what's it called? I actually made this more realistic. Like now the maiden's actually captured. The gatekeeper, who must have seen everything, tells the hero exactly what happened. What an idiot. Why give the hero an excuse to start slaughtering us? The hero yells, prepares to face justice, and other such cliche hero lines before driving a sword into the gatekeeper's torso. You're small compared to a lot of your friends, so you're able to slip away without getting cut up by that sword. You get to thinking of this hero took down the Overlord for you, everything might actually work out in your favor. You wait for things to die down outside before poking your head out. You spot the Overlord and hero locked in battle. They've worn each other down, making this very easy for you. Once an opening presents itself, you hit the back of the hero's head and knocking him out. What are you doing? Couldn't you tell that this was a duel? You don't respond, you have to carry out the assassination. You tackle her and ripple her to shreds with your claws until she stops moving. You finish off the hero next. You can't let him revive and come after you later. Kind of a cheap victory, but it doesn't matter any difference. Anyone who manages their fives come crawling out of their hiding places. You are the new ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they'll one day betray you, as you had betrayed your overlord. Lord Underling ending A. He has multiple endings. Okay, but if I don't do that, he dies, right? So if I do that, does that still happen? Okay, what do I want to try here? Believes the maiden story. Okay, let me do that. Wait, but he wasn't heroic, so why would he try and... Okay, let me just play the Overlord now. Let me do those two, actually. Okay, let me skip all this. Ooh, what's the difference again? Okay, wait, no, it's fine. I'll do that. Stay antisocial. You'd love to have the conversation in the world, but having will definitely cause trouble. The maiden does what she's told and takes her leave. You figure you may as well go back to bed now. But you don't get to rest for very long. Wake up to the sound of battle. A hero is cutting through your army. As an overlord, it is your job to take charge in these kinds of situations. You rush out to end this hero's pitiful existence. Vile demons, I should have believed for a second that you are anything but pure evil. I'll exterminate you all. You don't really get what he's going on about, but you engage regardless. A girl's got to defend her people. You clash again and again, but the hero isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health, waiting for the other to make a move, when one of your underling appears behind him. They knock the hero unconscious. You kind of appreciate it, but can't they see this was a duel? They don't respond. You sense murderous intent. Your servant tackles you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate. They've done too much damage. You can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You have been slain by your own underling. Aw, betrayed overlord ending it. That's sad. Wait, so now if I keep everything the same and go back to the hero. Wait, no. Let me do this. Skip. Grant the day off. Antisocial. Okay, now but you don't get yours. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed by flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but some things are blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? Oh, okay. That you're end of the Okay. Okay, what can I do here? So if I don't do disloyal, he dies. So let me just go back to hero. Aha! I'm the hero again. Let me flee like a coward. Believe her story. The two of you return to the village. Have all been so worried. They praise you for your bravery. But the mayor quickly sets the record straight. Okay, let me skip. Okay. When you reach the gate, you ask the demons if they've seen the maiden. They have. They inform you she's being held in the dungeon at the moment. She trusts them, and in return they lock her up. So demons are truly evil beings after all. You demand they take you to her, but they do not let you pass. You should have expected as much from these unreasonable creatures. You know what you must do. You thrust your blade through the demon before you and rush the castle alone. You're the only one who can save the maiden now. What the fuck are you doing killing all my soldiers? The Overlord is angry and you vow to exterminate her and all of her demon kind. You clash again and again, but the Overlord isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health when everything goes black. Your quest has come to an abrupt end. Unlucky hero end. Okay, so now if I... Wait, ooh. Disloyal, but no capture. What does this change? Let me play as the Overlord again. I really like playing as the Overlord, she's fun. Grant the day off. Tell her she should go home. What happened there? Heroes cutting through army. Vile demons, I shouldn't have believed for a second that you were anything but pure, Oh, okay, just this one again. Wait, no, not... Okay. Let me do trusting. What if I do both? Can I do... What does that mean? Okay, and then polite, obedient. Antisocial. These two. Perfect. And then play as her. Grant them the day off. Hello, should... Okay. Okay, now let's see what happens. But you don't get your rest for very long. One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. Wow, this is different. You try to struggle, but you can tell you're already mortally wounded. What have you done to deserve this kind of ending? You remember now, you gave this one a day off, and this is how it repays you? You die wondering if you could have done anything to prevent this. Assassinated Overlord and wakes up to them. So now let me do no disloyal. Wait, but then doesn't he... No, but if I'm gonna kill the demons. So let me just do this now. Grant him the day off work. Now what happens? They don't get to rest for very long. Wait, but didn't he kill the... Okay, now let me do no dutiful. Or wait, not diplomat, just dutiful. Grant day off. Now what happens? Okay, so either way, okay. Reset the stage. What if I do all of 4? What happens then? Grant day off. Filler shit's better off home. Okay, it's just this again. So I have to play as someone else. Okay, don't allow your underling a day off. We'll let the hero take the maiden home. I haven't tried this yet. So let me not do obedient, just polite. And then let me play as an underling and see what changes here. You're a demon underling in service to the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not... Okay, blah blah blah. Wait, let me go back. Back. You feel like you're gonna go crazy. She gives you an earful about responsibility. Okay. Okay, I'm back here. Let's not overthrow her. Hear her out. This time let me save myself. You look around at the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you can remember. You feel glad to not be in their shoes. You also feel guilty to be thinking that as you flee the castle until you remember your role not as an underling but as a demon. This kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life far away from any humans or demons, where you'll live peacefully alone in some deep dark forest somewhere. At least I didn't die. Okay. So now what happens if I play as the maiden? So I could just not leave, right? Okay, perfect. You live in a peaceful village, okay. Polite. Hello. She lectures the underling that brought you here, who was apparently told not to leave their post. Ah, okay, because she's a tyrant. You wonder what cruel punishment awaits them. But to your surprise, she lets them off easy. The underling is dismissed, and the Overlord turns to you looking very interested. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. If you did anything that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. The demons one day would see... blah blah blah. Refuse to leave. You put your foot down and tell her you're not going anywhere. You still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray! The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you're raised to believe. You command to avoid... Okay, so I haven't seen this. Oh, I haven't seen it from her perspective. Okay. Avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send a hero out after them. You realize that must be why you'd never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. He says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. He's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You always thought demons are violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. You may be different, but really they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and other humans. What would you do if it turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kinda like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, always kept to yourself, but spending time with this overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. But then a hero barges into the room. His clothes are stained by a dark liquid. It's dripping from his weapon, too. I forgot I made him a murderer. You realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. The hero suddenly dashes toward the Overlord, sword drawn. Protect her. Martyr. You selflessly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny, you think you'd never have imagined this would be the way you die. The roles are all switched around, but it feels right to you somehow. You are glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. As your vision fades, you hope that everything turns out alright for your new friend. Sacrificial Maiden End. Dies to protect the Overlord, she accepts this fate. Reset the stage. Die to protect the Overlord. Okay, so let me just get rid of that and only have those two. And play as the Maiden again. I just like having her antisocial, it makes her funnier. Because I don't need to listen to her. Introduce yourself. Refuse to leave. As you think that, a hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first until you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks you what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you're never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone this news of your safety. But the Overlord objects to the hero's suggestion. Tell her your plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. You feel nervous, the hero puts on a brave face for you. If you won't let her go, maybe demons are evil after all. And if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You leave me no choice. The Overlord suddenly jumps the hero. She tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Has she really been lying to you all along? You wonder, is this your punishment for questioning the divine plan? The Overlord approaches you now, but you back yourself in a corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord is a horrible way. In a horrible way like this was destiny after all. She vows to keep you very safe from now on. You're afraid to find out what that means, but there's no one left to save you. You belong to the Overlord now. Capture Maiden A. The Maiden becomes property of the Overlord. Okay. So now... I just don't know the exact order where everything happens. So this only works if... What if it's just obedient, but not antisocial? Let me just be trusting and diplomatic. Let's see where this takes me. Flee like a coward. Will they let me in? the nearest demon and explain why I've come here. And escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. Casual conversation when you barge in. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Ask the maiden what's going on. The maiden explains that she was never actually captured and that she came here on her own volition. That was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. You ask her to return to town with you to assure everyone of her safety, but the Overlord objects to this. The maiden tries to tell her that she'll come right back, but the Overlord refuses to hear it. The maiden seems nervous as a hero. It's your job to mediate situations like this. You tell the Overlord that if she doesn't let the two of you go, you'll have to assume she's evil. You'll be forced to vanquish her. You leave me no choice. Damn. How horrible. You came all this way only to be met with this cruel fate. You should have destroyed these evil creatures while you had the chance. Your dying wish is for the maiden to somehow make it out of this alive. Naive hero and... Okay, so what if I do this? Oh, but no, then no, if I... Okay. Oh my god, there's so much stuff. This is confusing my brain. I just realized how confusing this is. Okay, so let's have you not be a tyrant and just try that again. Let's have her be a martyr. Skip. Diplomacy. And seem to be in the middle. Okay. Ask the maiden what's going on. The maiden explains that she was never actually captured and that she came here on her own volition. Bononga her. Yes. Wait, what? But I made her not do that. You tell the Overlord, reset the stage. Oh, okay. I got rid of the wrong one. Tyrant. Yes. Let me do this. This should be right. What's going on? The Overlord allows you two to leave and you casually exit the castle. You try and make conversation with the maiden, but she's been pretty quiet since leaving the Overlord's room. Is she shy? And you turn your head to ask what the deal is. Only did, but okay. I think I've seen this one before. What is she thinking? Okay. Ooh, okay, but now I do disloyal. Yes. Skip. Play like a coward. Ask her to let you in. Diplomatic. Skip. Ask the maiden what's going on. That was a pretty dangerous thing, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. So now this is the one where the Overlord will die, right? You pause when you see a group of suspicious demons standing near the entrance. They're talking about assassinating their Overlord. This proves to you that demons really are foul creatures. We have to tell her about this. You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. The world is better off with the less demons. They're all cold, ruthless creatures that should be destroyed. And those same creatures have just noticed you eavesdropping. The maiden takes off into the castle, and you have no choice but to follow. You burst into the Overlord's room. The maiden frantically tries to communicate what you just overheard. The demon underling barges in next, calling you liars. It's followed by the group. Ooh, this is okay. We're getting to the good ending here. It's followed by the group from the entrance, who shifts the blame back onto the little one. Oops. These demons only care about themselves. How low can they be? You begin shouting at them, and the whole room dissolves into noise until the Overlord yells for everyone to shut their trap. He threatens them with violence. The Overlord is no better than her subjects. You grip your sword tightly. If you have to cut through everyone here to get this maiden to safety, you certainly will. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the runt of a litter behind. You glance around for another exit, but there isn't one. You have a terrible feeling about this. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. What kind of demonic magic is this? The underling pounds on the door, upset that it's been betrayed. Join in, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. The next moment, the Overlord has taken hold of her underling. It's crying for mercy. You thrust her claws into her underling's chest and it lets out a horrible scream. You back away. You won't be the next target of her lady. As she continues to dig and twist her claws into its limp body, you can no longer watch. You look to the maiden, who's crying, hands clasped together in prayer, to have faith in a time like this. You envy her. The two of you, the Overlord and the underling's corpse, are all consumed by flames. Resigned hero end. The hero can do nothing as everyone is consumed by flames. Okay. Let me just have... Okay. And then I'll play the maiden. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. Okay, so here I am with the... Wait, just go back. So everyone can see. His relief that this whole mystery had been lit. Okay, you apologize, but really didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks of you to return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. You'll be back soon. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. You have to warn her. But the hero shakes his head. He says that if this is the true nature of demons, the world is better off with less of them. This isn't right, you think. What kind of hero passes up the chance to save a life? The demons have taken notice of you. It's now or ever. You take off into the castle, and the unreliable hero follows shortly after. I just did this because I hope it gives her like a prayer skill or something, since at then she was praying, right? So I hope it gives her an extra personality or something I can use. You burst into the Overlord's here. Let me actually, I was gonna turn down the volume a little bit more. Human, unbashedly selfish creatures who value power above anything all else. Okay. You burst into the Overlord's room, all your words spilling out at once. You probably should slow down, but there's no time. That's how I speak. Overlord seems to have followed your frantic explanation, but clearly doesn't understand the urgency of the situation. The underling you recognize from before barges in, calling you a liar. You're surprised that they were a part of this evil plot. They seemed so nice. The other demons come in right after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You're all relieved when the Overlord demands silence. He threatens them with violence, and he thinks she is very Overlord-like in this moment. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds on the door in distress. Have they locked you all in? You have a bad feeling about this. And thinking that must have just jinxed it, because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored those demons before, you and the hero wouldn't have stumbled into this situation. If you had just pretended not to hear them, if you left as you were told, only the Overlord would have been killed. But you couldn't have done that. That path isn't an option for you. Okay, that's good to know. You think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. It must exist. It simply must. So I probably have to play as her to get the path where everyone lives. The Overlord seizes her underling. They beg for their life. You pray. You don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord claws pierce the underling's chest. They scream out an awful scream. She digs and twists her claws in the poor thing while you continue to pray. But there's no saving any of you now. You, the Overlord, the hero, and the underling's corpse are consumed by flames. The vote made an end. Okay. So now let me do this one more time as an underling. how everything is, and then see what happens. Yep. Hehehe, let's overthrow her. You should be the new overlord. Your friends aren't very impressed. You you'll assure them that you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out of the castle to have some fun. The change of atmosphere excites you. Oh, okay, I've already seen this. Hear her out. You're in a good mood today and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is the kind of... Da-da-da. Okay, back to imprisonment. Okay. Well, that you've left them when you weren't supposed to. Apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden's an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look and you say, that was just a joke, of course. She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard, and you ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out, and being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, that sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead? Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. I like that it shows me if I'm about to die. Let's kill the overlord. They say, okay. Yeah, I already seen this. You and your friends turn to notice. Oh, wait, let me go back once. After you be beside, no one has any better ideas. Wait, so what's this? You and your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really don't want it to come down to this, but you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You and your friends turn to notice a pair of humans have overheard your entire conversation. They take off in the castle and they're headed to the overlord's room. Fuck! The overlord will kill you for sure if he found out you were conspiring to take her out. You dash into the castle after the humans. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the overlord everything. You shout that the humans are liars. Your friends soon arrive and they back you up, except they don't. Instead, they blame the whole thing on you. They cry that was all your idea and that they were just going with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. You can't believe that tell the overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than to trust them. You're the one who didn't have a choice here. You'll shout at each other until the overlord demands silence. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in place. Crushed beneath my heel. She sounds tough, but lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. You hear your traitorous friends mutter something about going to Plan A, and suddenly the door slams shut. You're trapped in here with the overlord and the two humans. And then the room bursts into flames. You pound on the door, screaming curses at those who betrayed you. The hero joins you, vowing to slay the lot of them. You wish he'd get that chance. The overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You are forced into this mess. You are sure now that they would have killed you if you'd sided with her. Yeah. But the overlord doesn't hear her plea. She drives her claws into her chest. At least she makes it quick. Was it quick? It didn't look that quick from the other angles. So disloyal, and now I play as you. I'm just trying to get all the endings, but I should actually try and focus on getting that true ending first. Let me just skip through this. Grant him the day off. Let her stay for a while. You can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons, okay. Let them go. You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that, you decide. With the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious, overlorded bed. Yeah, this is definitely the one difference I had to make, right? The fact that the overlord needs to be the one to, what is it called? Not be tyrant. But yeah, I like that I'm playing as her to do her like main point, her main objective. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? Like every time I unlock a new one, I want to play as that character to unlock it. If that makes sense. Even though I could have just not made her a tyrant. Yep, your new friends will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while. You have almost fallen asleep when the maiden and hero bursts in your room, frantically trying to communicate something to you. You've told that a group of demons is plotting to assassinate you. You're not surprised. How nice of the humans to care, though. One of your underlings barges in next, shouting that the humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was the first underling's plan. Everyone is shouting over each other now, and it's very annoying. You yell at all of them to shut their traps. You have no doubt that your servants wouldn't let their ambition cloud their judgment and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep all of you in place, crushed beneath my heel. You feel very overlord-like. You aren't sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately, all you do is sleep. The group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly slam your door shut. You, the maiden, the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underling pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. The hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die, burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. You could have expected this from a bunch of idiots, though. You notice the maiden crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. I wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration you don't even notice they've grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying that they were dragged into this plot knowing they'd be killed they took your side. They cry that they didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. Forgive them. Yes, merciful. Haha, new skill. You release the underling. Killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You'll all burn together. Overlord's true ending. Oh, that's their true ending? Before you're taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end? You say to yourself, what was the point of all my effort if the true ending is this terrible? You must have forgotten where you were. This is bad end theater. Is the pain setting in? Ho ho! But you should have been well aware of what you've been shown when you entered this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grew attached to my little cast. You started to relate to their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find that here in my theater, my lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on to the next ending is always yours. I'll leave you to it, dear guest. Ooh, okay, so but there has to be a true ending. What is this? Okay. Damn, they all have a lot of stuff. Oh my, okay. Um, oh, okay, this is, So that just leads to a bad end. Possessive, disloyal. Ooh, okay. Ah, but this feels like cheating. Let me try that. Let's her underling live in the end. So there has to be, once you get everything, there has to be a way to get it. Possessive, disloyal. Let me do that. And then let me play as The maiden. I feel like she gets the most out of this. Hello. Let me go back once. Oh yeah, okay, so this is after the hero already dies. The Overlord approaches you. Approaches you now. You back yourself in the corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord is a horrible way like this. It was your destiny after all. But the Overlord stops, or rather someone has stopped her. Whatever held back your scream before doesn't stop you this time. The Overlord is being ripped to shreds by one of her demon underlings. You think you recognize them, but it's hard to tell with all the blood. Everyone stopped moving now. The room is silent, save for the underlings' heavy breathing. You thank them for what they've done, even though it was awful. You feel you've been rescued from a terrible fate. They look at you, confused for a moment, but then puff out their chest.
You should probably go home. This place is dangerous.
You follow their advice and make your way out of the castle. You decide never to leave home again for the rest of your life. Damn. That's sad. Um. Uh. Um. Now I need to check these. Wait, no. Menu. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, return to character select. Okay. So what if we capture? So there must be another ending where I could let the underling live, right? So what if I do this? And then play as the hero. So obedient, antisocial. I think that's how I get that, right? Probably. Okay. Let me do martyr just in case. You're the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Flee like a coward. Skip. Believe her story. Let me just skip through this. Oh wait, he implores you to meet with Overlord immediately and say that they all keep an eye on the maiden until you return. Did he miss something? Oh, okay, so that's something I've already seen. Okay, so now let me just do... Now let me be the underling. And see what happens. Hear her out. Okay, let's kill her. You worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. Wait, let me go back. And if it doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you're innocent. Okay, so I haven't read this actually. Whoops. Like, you know, how about it be... Okay. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figure they'd just lock her up in a room and set it on fire with a stupid plan that could go wrong in so many ways. They're probably... Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You and your friends turn to notice the maiden from earlier has overheard your entire conversation. It would be bad for you if the Overlord found out about this. So toss her in the dungeon, right? It's empty, save for the decorative stair only there to make it feel more spooky. The maiden is very upset. You leave her in the cell to continue scheming with your friends. But now a hero has arrived in the front gates. He's asking, perhaps everyone he just locked up, who must have seen everything. The hero yells, prepare to face justice! They've worn each other down. Kind of a cheap victory, but anyone to manage. Already got this ending. Okay, so now let's make him hungry. And then let me play the hero. Play like a coward. Ask if they'll let you in. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she really never here, you wonder? What could have happened to her? The Overlord says she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come here in forever. At least that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. You slow down. So, if that's the case... So if I play as him, okay. And then I play as him. Okay. Play like a coward. Believe her story. You tell her you're pretty surprised that everyone has been wrong about all the demons. The townspeople must be informed of this immediately. When you reach the gates, you ask the demons if they've seen the maiden. They have. They inform you she's being held in the dungeon at the moment. She trusted them, and in return they lock her up, so demons are truly evil. You know what you must do. Damn, his face is crazy. Bro, locked in. Take you there, but they do not let you pass. You should have expected as much from these unreasonable creatures. You know what you must do. You thrust your blade through the demon before you and rush the castle alone. You're the only one who can see the maiden now. What the fuck are you doing killing all my soldiers? The Overlord is angry. You vow to exterminate her and all of demonkind. You clash again and again, but the Overlord isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health when... Oh. So now... But, oh wait, So if he just... So if I really need to think. I don't want any help here. So if I play as the hero... And have the maiden... If I have her die... So if I have the maiden die... Then the hero goes in, nothing happens. But what if I do it from another person's perspective? So hungry. Wait, what if I do it from his perspective? Underling. Gobble her up. Maidens aren't the best meal, but you figure you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without so much as a second thought, and feel quite proud of that. Other humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. I said praise, and it's like, why would they praise him? Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander in the nearby village. The people are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. You think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. What happened? I want to know what happens if I do this. You attack the nearest human. He is old and weak, and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience screams grow louder, applause. You think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should take revenge like this a lot sooner. As you continue your bloodthirsty dance, striking the village down, you fail to notice a sword-wielding hero running towards you. He takes you out in one swift blow. You're just a demon underling after all. As you die, you think that was totally worth it. Yay. Let me do that again. Change your mind and leave. You figure if people are this upset just the sight of you, they won't fully appreciate any terrible acts you'd commit. Also, they might fight back. That probably wouldn't end well. You're just one little underling after all. This little day out has been adequately refreshing. You return to the castle thinking you'll take a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends will wake you up rude. Sleeping hard, ask them what the deal is. That's okay. They figure and set on fire. Okay. Have you found her head on? Oh wait, let me go back once. You realize your friends are just a bunch of... Okay, I read that. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on. And while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. But you can't back down now. You'll have to be one to assassin the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You sneak into the... Okay, it's this ending. You sneak into the Overlord's room. She's taking a nap like usual. This is almost too easy. You silently approach your master. She looks so peaceful. Coward. Chicken out. You don't want to kill her. You can't go through with it. You turn to leave the room, but your friend's blocking the exit. In a panicked whisper, you ask them to let you out. This seems to have been their way of testing your loyalty, and you tell them this is pretty fucked up and ask again to be let out. The Overlord stirs in her bed. While your head is turned, the demon shut the door. You scramble into the Overlord's closet to hide before she wakes up and sees you. There's nothing you could possibly say to explain this and survive. You're trembling. You can't believe those assholes would bully you like this. You feel like crying. Lights flicker at your feet. It doesn't take you long to realize they've set the room on fire. You hear the Overlord trying to get the door open. To no avail, you're both trapped. Too afraid to move, you resign yourself to your fate. You and the Overlord burn together. Cowardly underling end. Okay. So now I have coward. Doesn't go through with the assassination plot. Haha. So now, disloyal, coward. But then they still died to the fire. And to get this assassination ending, they can't be there to overhear. Right? Oh my god, this is a lot of thinking. Haha, I know what to do. Yeah, antisocial. Yep, perfect. And now I play. I play as her, right? But I already got her true ending. Oh, but no. Oh my god, this is really hard. Because either way they burn. I think I just have to play as the maiden here. Introduce yourself. Here I refuse to leave. You put your foot down and tell her you're not going anywhere. You still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen your own way. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray! There's many stories. Little by little, you realize in my... Wait, ooh, new thing. You pray, you don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord spares the underling. You feel relieved, but does it make any difference? Will you all burn together? Maiden's true end. Aw, I mean, it makes sense. It can't end like this. You want to answer the maiden's prayers? You've decided to find a way to save everyone. But retracing the paths you've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any room to avoid a bad ending. Is there really nothing you can do to keep them all from getting killed in the end? If there's nothing you can do by acting from within their story, maybe it's time to take things into your own hands. What? Wha- oh, no way. On fire, on fire? You boldly insert yourself into the story and use your incredible power to wrap everyone to safety. You didn't know you could do that. But what's going on here? You take a moment to get a good look at yourself. You are you, but why are you pitch black? You feel that this body doesn't accurately represent you. But you move past it. The hero, maiden, underling, and overlord have been staring at you too. They look like they don't really know what they're supposed to do right now. I guess that's because you're usually the one guiding them. What will you say to them? I don't know why this is so funny. Hi guys. You smile awkwardly and introduce yourself. The maiden is the first to respond. My prayers have been answered. You must be... Her god? No, you're merely the player. If there was any god here, they'd be the final boss. That's just how these role-playing games go. Now you realize what the real true ending must be. Now, enough of this. I admit I've been encouraging you all along, but a self-insert story? How passe? You watch helplessly as tragedy descends from the heavens. You didn't honestly believe you were the only one who could force your way onto the stage, did you? I am the narrator, storyteller, god of this world. Call me tragedy, if you'd like. Darkness envelops your party. You don't mind if I send each of them back to relive one of their many bad endings, right? You are alone in darkness with me, tragedy. I sincerely hope you've been enjoying your time in my theater. Though I can't abide you stealing the show without permission. It's quite disrespectful. I'm sick of all these bad endings. Then frankly, you should never have come to a place called Bad End Theater. Haven't we already been over this? You think defeating me might just be the only way to see a better ending? It's all that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this doesn't sound like it could be entertaining. Oh, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you've got. Time to fight God. The stage is set for your final battle against me, the god of this world. What will you do? How will you fight against tragedy itself? I'd love to see it. Let me defend. You try closing off your heart to protect yourself, but doesn't make you feel any better. Oh, is that all? You'll never defeat me like that. You're right. Perhaps you don't understand just how outclassed you are here. Behold my beautiful tragic tales. Does seeing them all again make your heart ache? You've witnessed 25 of my painstakingly crafted endings. Your heart does indeed ache for these characters. How could you want to put an end to all this? Do you truly care for them that much? They're still suffering backstage, you know? It's a shame they couldn't make it here to the end of the world. That's right, you came here to save them. You can't do this alone. Whoa, call your friends into battle. You find the hero in his home, hunched over a sewing table. Your sudden intrusion scares the hell out of the poor guy. Are you some kind of demon? You explain that no, you're not a demon. How can you explain it in a way that the hero can understand? Instead, you ask why he's sewn. Oh, I craft all my own hero gear. He senses pride in his hobby. You wonder if the costumes are what attracted him to the role of the hero. Would you like some clothes? You don't seem to be wearing any. You remember the state of your body and decide that yes, some clothes from the hero would be nice. He is overjoyed by your answer. Apparently his outfits are too gaudy for the other townsfolk. No one else wants them. The true end for the hero suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change his fate. I can make a living as a tailor rather than a hero, please. Please tell me what I can do to reach that dream. The hero will now fight alongside you. Ha! I agreed to follow you, but I didn't expect to face something like this. The hero has arrived. We really couldn't have a final boss battle without him. You're the one who's been killing us. Murderer! I can't truly call myself a hero until I see you defeated. We'll see about that. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. No. Collier. How fight? Willpower. Your reign of terror ends here, Tragedy. I refuse to give in. The hero uses his willpower to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Summon! You enter the Overlord's room, relieved to see the fire contained to the torches on the walls. When you close the door behind you, the Overlord rises from her slumber. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? You explain that no, you're not here to serve her. It's more like you've come to do her a favor. You ask why she spends all her days sleeping instead of commanding her demon army. She laughs in response. Many of my underlings certainly think I should be more aggressive with the humans, like my father before me. Oh my god, my eye. His quest for revenge was endless and self-perpetuating. There's a reason I had to destroy him. You can't help but think it's a little late in the game to be getting some new backstory. That's true, that's a good point. I didn't even know she had a demon dad. I mean, makes sense. I have no interest in waging war on the humans. I merely wish to be left alone, to live a peaceful, indulgent life in my castle. You realize she must actually be very lonely, only surrounded by soldiers instead of friends. No wonder she got so attached to the maiden. The true end for the Overlord suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. Oh wait, but I didn't get the true... Wait, no, I didn't get the true end for the hero, right? But I still got his true ending. If that makes sense. My own attempts at peace have been rather imperfect. If you offer a solution, then very well, I will follow you. The Overlord will now fight alongside you. I see. So this is tragedy. I have brought the Overlord. I don't stand a chance now. You prevented me from attaining peace for long enough. Prepare to die. Ha 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 ha. I hope you're prepared to face your deaths as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. It's fine. Ambition. I'll reach my true ending with my own power. The Overlord uses our ambitious nature to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Now let me summon the maiden. You happen to find the maiden as she exits the church, her heart set on meeting a demon. Perfect timing. She approaches you, having already taken notice of your odd form. Excuse me, are you a traveler? I've never seen anyone like you before. You explain that no, you're not a traveler. Well, maybe you are in a sense you've come all this way. The maiden regards you with excited curiosity. Then perhaps you might be a demon. I was hoping I'd meet one today. You think of all the terrible fates that hope would bring about. She is the catalyst of the story, after all. My role as a maiden is to be captured by the Overlord, but you see, I've grown so tired of waiting. You remember this part. She wanted to understand her role better, and so you ask what it is that she's really hoping to gain from this. The maiden is confused by her question. Perhaps it was as simple as wanting to reach a place she felt like she belonged. The true end for this maiden suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. If there's something I can do to find fulfillment, then please guide me. The maiden will now fight alongside you. What is this horrible creature? You wound me, dear maiden. Is tragedy really such a terrible thing to behold? I remember now. I remember all the awful things you put us through. Then this should be familiar to you as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Fine, as long as they're alive. We need the hope right now. Our true endings do exist. They simply must. The maiden hopes with all her heart to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Come in. You approach the gates. This is actually such a crazy game. You approach the gates to the Overlord's castle. The underling is on guard duty as you expected. They call out to you. The other demon guard is sound asleep. Hey, you're a pretty weird looking intruder. What do you want? You explain that no, you're not an intruder. Yeah, intruder. Although you definitely intruding into their story right now. You tell the underling you've come to save them from tragedy. Okay, try saving me from boredom first. I hate this job. The underling snickers. You ask about what kind of job they'd rather have. It'd be best if I didn't have to work at all. I just want to live a carefree life and never get bossed around or picked on. You think of the underling's friends, who has bullied them into assassinating plot only to betray them in the end. If they kept better company, maybe they wouldn't feel so restless. The true end for the underling suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change their fate. So there's a way that even work can be fun? Sounds fake, but I'll tag along just in case. The underling will now fight alongside you. Wait, what the fuck? You didn't say anything about a boss battle. The underling, you must be desperate to call in such an unreliable ally. Huh, if I beat this guy up, all my problems will be over. But it won't be that easy. Strategy attacks with a terrible fate. Haha. Now that my whole party's here, can you solve my final puzzle? The whole party's here. Which combination of behaviors will open the path to your true ending? Show me. Oh wait, do I not have his... What was it? Okay. So it needs to be their like characters, like traits, right? So willpower, hope, tenacity. Knock me down and I'll just come back stronger. The underling uses her tenacity to overcome tragedy. This is it, where everyone's heart is united, you take aim toward their best possible futures. You all unleash one final attack to destroy tragedy once and for all. No way. Did we do it? Or is this a fake out death? You've done it. You've managed to defeat me. A tragic ending for tragedy itself. I love it. I must thank you all for what am I saying? Fulfilling your roles perfectly. Starring Hero as himself. Thank you, Hero. Starring Maiden as herself. Thank you, Maiden. Starring Underling as himself. Thank you, Underling. Starring Overlord as herself. Thank you, Overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We defeated you, so die already. Don't worry, I'll be making my exit shortly. Finally, thank you most of all. We could have made it without you. Directed by you. Yes, my bad. Yes, my bad, and theater did contain a true good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Was I able to do it? I wonder. I am satisfied. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Happy endings shouldn't always come easy. Reality is not so kind. But you've earned this one. Here's your true ending. You conquered tragedy and freed the actors from their terrible fate. Yay! Aww, he's sewing now. Does he? What? He said he wanted to become a sailor. He actually has friends now. Actually, good friends. Oh, why is this music kind of bopping? Aww. I like this. That was really good. Your true end. What if there was an even truer ending? What if all the other endings are just even more true endings? Exit the theater. The music is so good. This song is such a banger. This one's really good too. There's one more that I'm missing for me. If I go back, what happens now? Oh, so you aren't done with my bad endings, and now they are back for more. You'll have to cancel out your true ending if you want to go back to the way things were before our final battle. Shall we begin with the resetting process? Never mind. You don't want to play after all? Well, alright. I'll be waiting here in case you change your mind. Well, thank you everyone so much for watching. I think I'm going to end it here for today. I'm definitely going to get all those other bad endings, because who doesn't like to feel sad? And then I'll try the true ending again to see if anything changes. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll probably make a separate video on the other endings, but thank you guys, and that's it.